We got the Cutlass on here. It is getting frame notched in the back, rear end narrowed, control arms, anti-roll, narrowed axles, adjustable boxes, lower control arm boxes, a little bit of bracing. Just put it on today. Those are the wheels going on it. Posted a picture on IG, and of course I tagged Amani Fords down there, and they actually hit back with a fire emoji, which was excellent. First time I ever seen anybody hit me back with something like that. But anyway, got the front end somewhat tore apart. Got to get rid of these bars here. Boom, pull the sway bar off of it. Obviously, all this is garbage. If you riding rims on these stock ass arms, park it. But anyways, garbage, garbage, garbage. Frame's gonna have my signature cut out in it. Do my badass frame notch to it. It's gonna be real smooth, rolled in. It's only a 24, but still, the car will be able to take 26s after I'm done. A couple months from now, I'll be able to bring it in and mini tub it, because he's wanting to go with a 7-inch lip, possibly even an 8. So I'm gonna narrow the rear end 3 inches on both sides for now. Yes, it's just a 7.5, but everything will be set if he wants to change it later. This is only a V6 car, but I think he has an LS motor, and he'll be able to put that in later. Not going to the track with it. So later on, if he wants to switch to an 8.5 rear end, we can switch it, or a 9-inch or whatever. It's an 86, clean as hell. Again, that shit is garbage, 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 garbage. Junk. All them steering components, junk. But yes, got it in here today and started busting it down. As you can see, for now, it's gonna get the frame notch, nice ass frame notch. I'll roll this in a little bit for now. It doesn't matter what I do to the tubs, because we're gonna mini tub it. So when you guys see the tubs being all beat up or whatever, it's getting mini tub later, just not now. But all right, that's what I got going on here with this 86 swinging ass Cutlass. Quinn's Tires, Aurora, Illinois. Kevin, we got you up on there. Had to switch it out with another car because this guy's been here longer than the other one. Hey, that's how it rolls. Sunday, up in the shop. Got one side fully notched on the front frame notch on the Gbody, on the Cutlass. Got a brake line put on the Cutlass back there, 78. A little bit more to go on that one back there, and it's all good. I gravity bled the brakes. Got the master cylinder topped off. Don't have nobody here to help me bleed, you know, pumping and shit like that, whatever. So, how many sets of wheels this car gonna get set underneath of it, right? Booyah. Cast that. This side's not cut out yet, but like I was showing you guys, you can see how thick the frame is. And you can look at this side and see it's rounded. I got a piece of 2-inch by 4-inch. I think it's 4-inch. 2-inch by 4-inch, something like that. 2-inch by 3 1/4, something. 3/16 in there, so you can see how smooth it is. And then over here, this one is a 4-inch by 4-inch piece of 3/16, so it ties everything together. Like I said, it's not perfect. Got a couple little pinholes in it, some grind marks, but it's only one coat of paint on there. But you can see, like I was saying, where the notch needs to be. You know, you got the curve. and the flatness. Some people, right when the tire turns and hits here, they only notch out the one area. You need the whole wheel to go back in there. So the back part of the wheel hits right here, so you gotta get into the mount. But now I'll make all my measurements. Normally I get this a little bit more rounded in here, but it'll be fine. So then I'll transfer all that to this side, which you can see, again, I mean, we're talking, look how thick that is. How thick that is, you know what I'm saying? Here, right here. But that's the frame notch. Painting this whole rail. Gotta go out to the city tomorrow, do a couple things. Button that one up so we can get out of here. And get this other side notched out. So that way I can bolt this whole front suspension together. So that will be gone in a day or two. And this one, front end to be done in a day. On this Cutlass, but it's all good. Going on there, my Monty 4s right there. Monty 4s, boom. 24s. Got that front suspension all done up. Got that smooth ass frame notch all up in there. Boom, plated in, painted up, cleaned up. Boom. Just did a little vacuum bleed on the brakes. Got all the brake lines in there. Got the tabs mounted, all that. Got the new hard lines from the proportioning valve to each front wheel. Just a little V6 car for now, but boom. So I'm about to, you see the tab on that side too. Just screwed it right into the frame with a self tap. Getting ready to set this thing down. I'm gonna put the wheels on it, set it down, put it on my alignment plates. Like I said, alignment plates are just so that way the car will set on its weight, the tires don't bite the ground. Then I do all my measurements the way that I want. I measure from the plate up to the bottom of the spindle, make both sides match. Normally I degree them back. Degreeing them back means I take the upper back and I'll shim that to bring that back, which moves the ball joint back on the top, so it degrees the spindle and gives you a sport steering. When the wheel leans forward, it turns, makes the rim look like it's gonna hit the ground. When it leans back, then you get a sport steering, so less turning is more turning. More on that, and if you pay attention to all the other videos and stuff like that, you'll be able to figure it all out. I don't have anybody here to help, so that way they can be recording while I'm explaining. I'm only making 3.5 minute videos as we go, so I don't have the time to be sitting there and editing and placing ads and all that. So I figure this is easier for everybody for now. And like I said, I'm not trying to make $1 million off of YouTube. A couple $100 a month is fine with me. Help pay some bills, you know, overhead. But yeah, so this car only went with a 350 spring because of the V6. I do believe Kevin says he's gonna go with an LS motor. I think he already has one. So somebody will be putting that in, and then, you know, it's got aluminum heads, aluminum blocks, stuff like that. Even if it's a cast block, whatever, there's gonna be plenty of room to twist it up. Worst comes to worst if we gotta change it from the 350 spring to a 400 or something like that. But I'm pretty sure it's only 24, so it'll sit right where we want it to sit. I haven't touched the back on it yet, but I have the frame notch and all that, and I have this and that. Still haven't ordered the axles, but it's all good. Brakes are on back order for the back. I might have another black kit next door. I just haven't been able to go through anything, but I'm gonna align this, get all 4 wheels on it, be able to take it on the Cutlass. See, I got them alignment plates underneath the front, so I can align it. Like I said, the back, nothing done to it. These wheels do clear the frame and all that, but it's gonna get 7-inch lips on it, so I'll narrow the back a little bit. Little quarter rail notch in the back, so now I'm not gonna full frame notch this one. We already figured everything out, measured everything up, boom. Anyways, tire, touching the fender, a little bit. We have all this room towards the back. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna take the ball joint and how it bolts on the top of the arm, I'm gonna unbolt it from the top of the arm, I'm gonna bolt it into the bottom of the arm. That's gonna make the wheel come out a little bit, you know, at the top, come out. It's basically straight up and down right there. So then I will be able to shim the back upper part of the control arm, which is gonna allow the wheel to move backwards, which is gonna give me more clearance there. Worst comes to worst, I will have to trim the fender a little bit, but I'll do it to where it's not even noticeable. I'll take the chrome off, I'll do a little work to the fender, and I'll put the chrome back on. Chrome will flex a little bit, so how it goes straight down, I can get it to flex back forward, so then it looks like nothing's cut. Alignment on the shaft up top. I do have the ball joint where the ball joint sits in more. So 24s with QA1 arms. I could take and undo the nuts and then twist the shaft around to bring the ball joint out. So I might end up still having to do that, but that's all in with the alignments. But when you shim the back, well, you can't even see that, so. But, man, we can all tripping on shit, knocking shit over. Boom. But that back sits real good. You don't want it too low and not too high. I think it sits actually perfect. You can see plenty of room in front of there. No cut, nothing. Back is a 295/25, 24 tire. Front, I really would like to see the 255/25 tire on there, because the front is actually pretty tall compared to the back, which the other tire on there, the rim being skinny, would actually probably look the same as how the back looks. You know, that little bit of stretch. So in the front, a little bit of stretch. But they don't make the same tread design. So a lot of people do like having the same tread design for front and back. But all right, I'm still over here messing with this thing, messing with the alignment. I still gotta put the sway bar and everything on it, but I'll do the alignment first, set the height, set everything the way I want it. And then the very last thing I do is put the sway bar on. When you guys are having problems putting the sway bar back on, put the sway bar links in there, barely set them, have the bar hanging down, and then the last thing you do is bolt that mount to the frame. A lot easier to set it up that way. Alignment done on the cutlass. Took the front end all back apart. I flipped the ball joint over. I did make clearance for the fender. I pulled the chrome off. I did a little work to the fender, a little cutting, a little bending, put a crease back in it, so that way I can put the screw back on it. I screwed it back in to where it looks stock. Yes, I did trim off a little bit of the bottom on an angle. It was a square point. I made it a round point. Boom. So I took the ball joint, like I'm saying, I took the ball joint and unbolted it from the top of the arm. You can see in there. Unbolted it from the top of the arm and bolted it under the arm. So that way it brought the camber out some. So now the only thing I gotta do is put some shims in it, which this spindle is not laid back as far as the passenger. So there's like a 1/2 inch difference. So what I'll end up doing is, the wheel's a little bit out at the top. So when I put 2 shims in the back on this side, we'll bring the wheel back and camber in just a little bit. And then it'll be the same measurement as this side, except this side right now, as you can see, is a little out at the top. So this side, we'll be getting a shim in the back and a shim in the front, maybe 2 in the back and 2 in the front. And then I'll have the alignment all squared up. Toe in and toe out will be after that. But I can see right now, without the sway bar being on this, the car is a little bit lower on the passenger side front. But custom alignment, that's what I do. You can see that side's got clearance too. Did the same thing with that chrome. Boom, as you can see, there's a screw in there. I put a self-tap back in there because it's not in the stock spot. I'm talking about this screw right here. But I trimmed the fender, flexed it forward, put the chrome on, boom, both sides are moved the exact same. And that's how we're looking. I got that alignment, height set. Both spindles are degreed the same, measure out the same. Wheels are straight up and down, as you can see. Boom. A little bit of negative camber is good when you're setting it. For these, sometimes when the wheel is so straight up and down in the front, perfect, that it's a little off from the back, so it makes it look like it's sticking out at the top. Because over the years with a stock rear end in the back, the axle tube bend a little, and the back wheels actually have just a little bit of camber to them, negative camber. So sometimes if I set the wheels too perfect in the front, they look like they're out at the top. But anyways, that's all set up. I still gotta do toe in and toe out, but I'll do that after I put the sway bar on. I got them brand new badass sway bar links. Here's the part number. Gbody and box Chevy, same. So there's a part number, there it is, energy suspension. They're about 20 bucks for the set. Brand new. Boom. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put those in the end of the sway bar, you know, put them into the control arm. There's 2 holes on the QA1 control arms. You wanna use the farthest hole. I think it's the farthest hole. But anyways, you put it in there, you set up the link, all that, you barely put the nut on. And then you take where it bolts to the frame and you push that up, and you got the little bolts. You set those, you go through, make sure it's even, tighten that up, and then you go back and you tighten up the links. The links do not have to be smashed all the way down. You only need, on the top of here, for the threads to stick out, the threads only need to stick out the size of the nut. Just a half inch of thread sticking out. You never want to go more than that because it crushes them down and destroys them. You don't have to tighten them that tight. But yes, this thing is coming along good. For the front to almost be 100. On the shims on the top, I did end up on this side. I put 2 shims, what are they, 1/8 inch. So 2 of them, 1/4 inch, on the back upper control arm bolt, which pulled the wheel in and back. The wheel is straight up and down. It's got a little bit of negative camber, which is fine. This side, I thought I was gonna have to go with 1 shim and 1 shim. I ended up actually having to go 2 shims in the back and 3 shims in the front, which set the spindle height from the ground or from the plate up to the bottom of the tie rod spot on the spindle. I know there's more to it than that, but anyways. Both sides measure the same height in the front. So now I can put the sway bar out. Like I said, I haven't touched the back yet. The back, I'm figuring out I'm just gonna narrow it probably 2 inches, 1.5 to 2 inches of narrow. The car will be getting a 7-inch lip. This is a 5.5 inch, 6 inch, whatever. So the difference, boom. So the wheel will end up sitting just maybe a 1/2 inch under more, but it will have clearance. This car is not getting tubbed, and this car may get just the rear quarter frame rail notch, which when I say quarter frame rail notch, that means just that back corner inside there notch, just a very little bit. Does not need a full notch. If you guys keep the wheel as skinny as you can with fat lip wheels in the back on Gbodies, that'll save you some time, so you don't have to. Always test fit your wheel first before you think you need to get mini tub and all this and that. All right, y'all.
Yo, goof ass, only take one stupid motherfucker.
Turbo Joe is the real motherfucker. These other two, I don't know what's wrong with them. Booyah. A little chilly in here today. A little chilly. All right, y'all. This is a lot of work for one guy. So anyways, you see I got the frame rail all cleaned up. I'm gonna get ready to do my little notch back here. It just needs a quarter rail notch. You see how I cut all the brackets off the housing? Now I gotta grind it, and then Gbodies have the extra long piece here that the wheel cylinder bolts through and blah, blah. And then you gotta go through and you gotta drill this. These bolts never wanna come out. I heated these up. This one came out. This one broke. The other side, same thing. One came out, one broke. Anyways, all the control arm box pieces, all that on there, boom. I am gonna put these long boxes on here. You know, I'll set it up, make it look good, even though it's just a 7.5 inch rear end. But the rear end will be ready later on, because this car, like I said, is just a V6 car for now. He's got an LS motor to put in it, and then if he wants to do whatever later with the rear end, you know, we just put a 9-inch in it, so then we can set the 9-inch up. All the measurements of what this one will be and this and that. But then this rear end will be ready for somebody that could just buy it. It's gonna be 2 inches narrow on both sides, so 4 inches narrower overall is what it's gonna be. So anyways, busting ass on this car. I was breathing in all this nasty rust today. This car is very, very clean. You can see there's no separation in this at all. I had to roll it back some. It was sticking out over the frame. The tire had a little rub mark on this part of the frame. So I'm gonna slice it through the middle of the hole, slice it up this way, slice it up this way, slice it to the back, slice it to the back. Roll each side in, trim off the access, and then I'll plate a strip inside here, but I'll keep a curve to it. So it should be all good. That's where we're at right now with the 86 Cutlass. Trying to hurry up to get it done. Got a lot of fabricating to do to that rear end, and it's a very messy job. But all right, y'all, get it in on this Cutlass. Just put the cross brace in the back. Booyah. Monty's. Uh-oh, what's that? What's that name? What's that name? Uh-oh. What's that for? All right, y'all. Got the rear end narrowed. This is what I've been telling everybody. Gotta have that bar. Gotta have them pucks in there. This bar makes a true center. Boom. I measure from the outside of here to the outside of here. Boom, boom, boom. The difference on axles. I come up with a number, and then I get my overall length, what it was, subtract what I'm narrowing. Boom. I came up with 16 3/16 from here to the outside edge of here. Boom. As you can see, it's welded up. Kind of pretty. The ends, I'm still gonna I got a template piece that I'm gonna put on here out of another brake kit, which is a metal piece. I'm gonna put on here, tack it on here, drill and tap the hole, or drill the holes. So, you know, get that set up so the brakes can go on it. But my next thing is I'm gonna put the control arm boxes on it. So I'm gonna square up the rear end, get it all level, plumb, whatever you wanna call it. Got the cross brace up in there. Cut the spring pocket area out. That bar, basically when you cut it out, that bar right there is 42, just shy of 42 inches. And it's an 1 5/8 tube, steel tube, like 130 thousandths. Sometimes when you go to a steel place, you can get a schedule 40, is what it's called, 1 5/8 round tube. Boom, that's basically within those thousandths thickness. Nice and thick, welded up in there. I'm a little happy with the paint, but you can still see the welds in there good. I just did a whole bunch of painting on the frame area because it looks a lot goofier than it is because the daylight is so bright. But anyways, painted it up on there. My hands all black. But yeah, so I'm gonna get the rear end where I want it. Make sure side to side is square with the frame. Boom. Get the control arm boxes on there. Then I'll be able to put the lowers in it. I haven't notched the frame yet in the back corner. Like I said, just this back corner. I'll notch out. It's a little rough back there, but I'll clean up the wheel wells and all that stuff, get it. But you can see from before till now, you know, that's a lot better paint underneath here. Some of it's still dry, or some of it's still a little wet because I just put like 4 cans on it. So, yeah, that's where we're at on the Cutlass. I'm gonna get them buckets on there, get it all braced up, start drilling the, go to this side. I'll be able to take this, square it up on there, and get, you know, get it good. Make sure it's square and tap it up, drill it out. I mean, it doesn't need to be tapped, it just needs to be drilled. The pattern needs to be nice, so that way the brakes go on square. I've been doing so much welding and grinding, and my arms all burn up. I got this set up back here. Boom. Got them buckets on there, fully welded. Got the coilover brackets on there, fully welded. Got the coilover sitting up in there. Of course, the cross brace was up in there. Still got to put the anti-roll on it. Obviously, this is a lot more adjustment than this car needs, but later on down the road, you know, or, you know, if he does go 9-inch later, then this rear end would be for sale. So, anyway, I still gotta drill out the brake mount holes. Still gotta change the upper control arms. Still in the mock-up stage. Still gotta do the frame notch. But that's what I've been working on all day. I did clock it. I stepped on the damn grinder. Ain't that some funny shit right there? I'm always tripping on shit. So anyways, I clocked the ends right there. So that way you can see when the bolt pattern goes on there, boom, it puts the caliper down here more. Instead of the caliper being straight back and then being, you know, if it ends up close to the frame, if you wanted to tuck it, now it's down here. So tons of plus with all this custom work. That paint is still wet up in there. I think I mixed a can of high temp engine paint. I don't think it mixed too well because it's all over me now. Everything I'm touching is turning me black. Anyways, yeah, all that adjustability and welds in there. I mean, dirty, but it's still penetrating. I don't know what it was. I think I had the ground in the wrong spot. Like I still had the ground on the car side and not the rear end side. But not too bad. I mean, you can see it's penetrated in there. That's all that matters is penetration. Still gotta weld those tabs on. I use this shorter tabs. So these tabs right here are chassis, so they're shorter. So depending on where you put the bar in a Gbody, if you put the bar farther forward, but then if you got a 9-inch, you come into the back of the 9-inch itself, you come into that area. So I put the bar back as far as I can, and then I run off the front of the bar. So the Viking tabs are longer, so they're out here. And then the true chassis tabs are shorter. So I got a variety of tabs in stock, so that way I can make sure I set everything right. You don't run into the problems with the springs. We're hitting the bracket here. A lot of cars out there you pay attention to. You'll see a lot of things. Like I said, I'm not hiding nothing. I'm not the best. I'm not, you know, it's not perfect. There's that weld, which I guess you can't see that one too good, but it's still in there, still penetrating. You can see the box right here. A little booger right there, but it's still got some dime effect to it. Normally I don't shake with the camera, but I'm shaking. So, anyway. Couple more days. The Cutlass. I got that rear end all fabbed up. If you guys been paying attention, had the front done enough and moved the car around enough that it broke the front brakes in nice and evenly. I still probably got to trim right here a little bit, but we'll see once I actually get to drive it with the backs on. So, this side's a little dark, but I got that plate. I put that plate on with one bolt right here because that's the one that was good, and I put a center punch in there, boom, I started drilling that out. So I'm gonna drill these out and put the car down so I can sit down, take the weight off my ankle. Look, I have the cross brace in there, the church chassis, Anti-roll is up in there. The rear end is all fabbed up, braced up. I did something different this time. As you can see, I ran that brace from that corner underneath, boom, weld it to the pumpkin there, and then I put 2 gussets on the sides, boom. There we go, looks pretty good. Nuggets back in there. I'm gonna get this drilled, get the brakes on it, and then I'll be able to do this notch. So hopefully here in the next couple of days I'll have this thing done and gone. But yeah, that's where we're at, y'all. Haze in the air right there. Just painted this frame rail and wheel well. Like I said, you really can't go off of the light. But anyways, I just sprayed it, so it's still wet. Like I said, when it dries up, you know, it's a semi-gloss, not a gloss. But my frame notch on this side, just a 1/4 rail, back notch, rolled in, nice, smooth, no lines. I'll put enough weld in the gap. This car right here, I was able to roll the tub in because the car is solid. I just kept tapping it with the hammer, tap, 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 tap. Forearm workout. But anyways, you keep hitting it nice and smooth, flat, and it heats up the metal and it rolls it. Some spots where there's a seam is gonna get tougher. But this car is solid, so that's why I was able to do this real nice. If this car wouldn't have been solid and I would have started tapping on this and it would have started breaking through, I would have kept tapping, and then I would have taken a piece of the tub material, the thin tin, and I would have welded it in here to cover up, to split, to make it look stock. And then I'd have probably put some filler on the inside of the trunk, you know, if it broke through that bad. But this car is a very solid car. That light is making it very, very, very shiny, but this side is notched. The suspension's all done. You know, I just gotta bolt it all back up. I took it back out because I didn't want to get overspray all over it. I covered that up the best I could. It's rattle can. So this is this side before. So I went through and scraped off most of this undercoating, you know, just up to eye level, whatever, from the side of the car. No need to sit here and strip the whole damn tub at the time it would take. It's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna look perfect. It's not a, you know, a fully fabbed tub, the aftermarket, this, that, you know what I'm saying? This car, I have not touched this side yet. I'm about to cut this side, fab this up. I did that one yesterday. Been having to take some time to sit down because of my ankle. It's not broke. We had some x-rays done. Gotta keep it bandaged up. It's all purple and yellow and all that. But anyway, so this car, you can see how these lines are. These are creases. And I don't know why this car is like this. Every car is different. You see a lot of different things, but this side was creased both on the same side. So I'm wondering if this car wasn't rear-ended or something before and fixed a long time ago. Obviously fixed by somebody professional, or maybe in the factory something happened. Who knows? But it had these creases in there before I started tapping on it. So again, tap, 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 tap with a nice size hammer. And you just keep rolling it back, rolling it back. It's pretty smooth. So I'm gonna get this side notched. Plan is to get this side notched, get it cleaned up, get it painted, and then bolt all the suspension back up. And then I can run the brake lines. The rear end is basically squared where it's at. The arms are where I want them. The lengths are all set. Uppers, I just, you know, gotta go through and jam them, all that. But yeah, that's where we're at on the Cutlass. I should have it sitting on the wheels. Let's see, what is it, Thursday? I should have it on the wheels tomorrow. Oh, I'm limping around. Have it sitting on the wheels tomorrow, so that way we can see what it looks like. See, I trimmed the chrome lip, moved the screws in, trimmed it. Again, when you're seeing the car like this, it's not something that you see. You're not, you know, I mean, yeah, if you go like this, but you're not gonna see that angle when the car is sitting down. So. Outside, just took it for a spin around the parking lot. Make sure the back tires ain't rubbing anywhere. Plenty of clearance. plenty of clearance. Got that fabbed up rear end up underneath there. This car is set for a 7-inch lip. And what I was saying is, right now there's wheel spacers on the back, 1.5 inch of wheel spacing. This wheel comes out to about a 5-inch lip. So once the wheel is changed to the smaller back barrel, the bigger front barrel, this and that, then we'll be able to take off the wheel spacing, because I have the 3-inch studs, 1/2 inch by 20, strange. That's what those are. The cheapest for the best price, best bang for your buck on those, which are still good. So as you can see, she's got that little bit of tuck. She does have some sounds in it. The tires fitted up in there. The back chrome is trimmed a little bit. Other people be blocking out license plates and stuff like that. I don't be blocking that shit out. But anyways, as you can see, the car is dirty, very dirty. So the car will be going to get all cleaned up. And then he's got other things he's gonna do to it. We got full turn in the front, because I got that badass frame notch on it. Probably can't hear me over the wagon being fired up behind the fence. That's the wagon that's gonna be, so it's one of the wood grain wagons, 90 Chevy Caprice. But anyways, so we got this tuck on here. Got all full suspension, Willwood brakes, back brakes. We gotta take it up and down the street a little bit, get those broke in. Viking coilovers, front and back. Tubular front control arms, QA1. Moog inner and outer tie rods. I mean, if you guys have been paying attention to the videos of this car, I put a lot of time into this car to make this car nice, really nice. I mean, that's the type of work I do anyway. So tried to go through, double check everything, make sure everything's tight, nothing's loose. Jam the control arms, double check those. This car, I only went with the 225 rear spring. What you see, the spring separation is really nice. Like I was saying, the brakes starting to eat off the powder coat, so we'll take it up and down the block. Do that. Show you guys this underneath. I spent a lot of time on this rear end. Boom. Brand new bolt covers in the cover with lock washers, all that. Boom. Coilovers, bracing to the rear end. Boom. I was trying to get this video. I had to bleed the brakes and stuff like that today. Oh, I'm blocking the camera. Wanted to get this video before it got dark. I'd be forgetting about that time change. So this will be the video of the 86 Cutlass. Once again, no mini tub. The back of the car can go down another inch, 1.5 inches easy, but we don't need to tuck it that hard. But there it is, y'all. 1986 Cutlass 24s, Armani forged. The back wheel is 24 by 10, which makes it 11 overall. So if you guys want to avoid tubbing like this, keep the rim as skinny as you can in the back. So 24 by 9 will make it 24 by 10 overall, or we'll make it 10 overall, which is going to clear better than this. I did trim the outer lip in the back, but there it is, y'all. Bankroll 10 bedded up, another one done. All right, y'all, appreciate y'all, thanks y'all, and I'm out.